Hi, welcome back to the class, our journalists. We are now going to publish our stuff onto GitHub. So, GitHub is one of many web-based hosting services for sharing and collaborating with code and data. It all depends on your needs and preferences. It's not the only one, though. So there's GitHub, there's GitLab, and there's Bitbucket. We're going to publish a folder, a repository to GitHub because it offers free hosting to open source software projects, and it's already where most R packages are hosted when they're being developed. So, just a warning, if you're using two-factor authentication in GitHub, you'll need to go through some more steps, and the steps are linked in the code through so that you can get an SSH key to connect. This shouldn't concern you if you're using GitHub after you've just created a new account. So let's first go ahead and create a new account if you haven't yet. And that's at github/join. And I'm already joined, so it's not going to let me do it. So first of all, you want to create a GitHub repository. So let's first think about what we want to do. We want to push some of the chunks that we created in that previous section. So let me see if I can find it. So this little folder, I'm going to drag this over. So remember where we created like 7 different chunks, iterating through all the cool things that R Markdown could do. Let's go ahead and publish that, because we have the HTML generated, might as well. So I'm going to drag this from my Chapter 7 master folder over to desktop as well, so it's its own little project. And there, I'm going to create a new project file based on that folder. And just a quick aside, this is my normal kind of setup. It's got the dark background, and the way you can set that up is go to Preferences, go to Appearance, and then check. You can change the font and the editor theme. There's a lot of different ones, and you don't have to stick with the default. I'm just choosing this one for now. Okay, so I'm going to create a new project based on that folder, existing directory, and I'm going to browse to my desktop, go to the chunks folder that I dragged out, and now my project will be there. You don't technically need this, you just need those HTML files, but I'm going to do this anyway because why not? It's good practice. So, let's go to chunks. There's a project file there. Beautiful. So now, this is what I want to create a repo out of. So step 1 is to go to terminal and initialize that as a repo. So go to terminal. I'm going to navigate to it. Let me zoom in for you. So it's on my desktop, and it's going to be called, it was in the folder chunks. ls, it's all there. So first of all, I'm going to git init it, everything in there. I'm going to git add everything, and then git commit. Actually, yeah, git commit this, which is first commit. Okay, so this is what we did in the last video. We did everything to get init, add, and commit it. So now the status is it's ready to go. Everything is up to date. So now let's go to GitHub. You've created a new account, right? Now just click this plus button, click on new repository, and you want the repository name to match up the repository name you've created locally. So chunks. Public, do not check mark the initialize with a readme, you just want to leave it blank. Okay, and now it's waiting for your data and your code. So you can skip this part because we've already done it, and you just want to pay attention to this, push an existing repository from the command line. So we've already committed, it's ready to be pushed. So just copy this line, git remote add origin, and this will go to your account / repository. So I'm going to paste this into here. So now it's synchronized. At least it's connected. Now we need to push it. And so we do that by typing git push -u origin master. And because I have two-factor, I got to pass this in. And that's it. It looks successful. So let's refresh this. And now all my files are there. Ta-da! Okay, so what's next? It's now hosted. Now you can link to it, and it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, RMD, not really successful. So next, what you want to do is you want to host this. You want to have that HTML, because when you click on HTML right now, it just sees the raw HTML like this. You want it rendered as HTML. You don't want to just see the raw code. So the way to do that is to go to your repo chunks, go to settings, scroll all the way down to GitHub pages, and go to the pull down menu under source and click on master branch. Now if you had put all your HTML files into a folder called docs, you could have done this, but we didn't. We just did it in master branch. So click that, click save, and now you just need to change this URL, swap it around, and I'll put it underneath here. Sorry, where'd it go? So side by side. So you see github.com/your username/chunks is where the repo is. And then 01_chunks.html. To get to that, to where it's hosted, you just need to swap out github.com and your username. So you start out with your username, which for me is andrewbtran. And then you type in github.io, and then you go straight to the repo name, which is chunks, and it's 01chunk.html. So you just do 01 chunk.html. And there it is. Your file is hosted. And remember, we have 7 of them, right? So let's go ahead and skip to the 7th one and see how that looks rendered. Oh, this is the one with the table of contents. And cool. Let's see. Let's go to 06. Okay, so this is it. And any of our files, I think, it was 02. Let's go to chunk.rmd. All those files are now hosted too, and I guess it's downloadable because that's how it usually interacts. So you see the difference between these two URLs? I mean, I can't really blow it up too much, but it's github.com/your username/chunks, and the hosted version of that is your username.github.io/ and then your repo name, and then wherever the file is. So if this was in a folder called HTML, then I'd have to do \HTML and then get to the chunk. All right, so do you see how simple it is? So what if you get new data and you wanted to update this? You could change this out in here in our markdown and change it to wherever the new data is, like maybe 2016 data, and then rerun the script, rerun the RMD, generate some new HTML. And what you would need to do is go back to terminal, and remember the 3 steps: git add, period, everything, git, and then just double check, git status. So it recognized that there were some changes to this, right, in 01 chunk. So what I do last, git status. So now I did add, now I need a git commit, new data. And then and finally, after that's committed, git push -u origin master. Okay, and that's it. And then This will change if all these files in here will change eventually. Maybe a few minutes it will take to update. But it'll change automatically if it's if the GitHub pages is pointed to your master. If it's pointed to something like gh-pages, which it sometimes does, then you'll need to push out to that, and that's slightly more complicated, but you can look that up easily online, and there's a lot of other people who do it that way. But just stick with this way that I've shown you, and I think you're going to run into less issues. So don't forget, after you update the changes over there, you got to do add, commit, push. Okay, you got to add everything, commit everything with the message, and then push it to origin master. And that's it. With this published repo, you're now part of the reproducible journalism community. And that's it. And last thing in the next video is we're going to go over a little bit of some tips and best practices when you're working with data and folders with R as it relates to GitHub. So I'll see you in the next section.